to the Fire Your MD Now radio program, normally hosted by Dr. Peter Glidden. I'm filling in for him today. My name is Mike Phillip. We are on the line with Naveed, and after that we're going to go to Bob. Now, Naveed, before this last break, we were talking about whether or not you were buying your supplements off the shelf or if you were using longevity. And the reason I bring this up and the reason it's important is because, and let me just qualify what I'm about to say. You are a smart man looking to nutritional supplements because, you know, you sound like you're a lot like me. Years ago, I started getting into different things and I was getting some good results from them. Let's be clear about that. But when I switched over to longevity, it was a world of difference. So, I mean, when you buy stuff off the shelf, you have no guarantee that what you're buying is actually what it says it is. Many over-the-counter supplements are of a lower quality and low bioavailability. And what that means is that it's not in a form that your body can absorb and utilize. Okay? Our supplements through longevity are all third-party lab tested to guarantee high quality. Dr. Glidden used to work for a company that only sold supplements to doctors. They were not available to the general public, and he will tell you the same thing. Are you still there, Navi?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Great. Now, next month, okay, Dr. Glidden is going to be hosting a webinar on how to address the issue of muscular dystrophy. He's going to have a man on the webinar that is actually recovering from it due to obeying the protocols and following what Dr. Wallach has found out. So what you can do, Naveed, is you can go to Fire Your MD Now and join fireyourmdnow.com and join Team Glidden. And what that'll do, you'll have access to these webinars, which are just so full of information. I personally have a big list of them that I watch. I've watched a webinar on oxidative radical damage about 10 times. And, you know, these are just amazing. But specifically with muscular dystrophy, he actually has got a protocol to get it to reverse. The other thing that you can do, you can go to drpeterglidden.com, drpeterglidden.com. And on the right side of the top of that web page, you'll see an icon that says radio show. If you click on that, you'll get a search list on the right-hand side. And if you just put in muscular dystrophy, it's going to take you to a segment of Dr. Glidden's show where he's specifically addressing that issue. And so, you know, you can get it straight from him, which is a lot more reliable than getting it from me. Like I say, I know what I've researched through Dr. Glidden and Dr. Wallach, but I am not a licensed naturopath. So all I'm doing is putting out the protocols that they have discovered over the years, specifically Dr. Wallach. So you say that you're getting some good results already. She's able to move her hand?
Yeah, basically my daughter can lift her right hand though, but my major two concern is, one is, I mean, because I noticed this rash in last 2 days' time, is it because I've introduced the selenium tablets now, which I'm giving her 400 microgram a day plus coenzymes, or is it something else though?
That's a wonderful thing that you are already getting some results. Another thing with supplementation is that nutrients travel in packs. And what I mean by that is that one nutrient reacts and activates another. Okay? Like when you're taking selenium, if you don't have the right amount of copper to go with it, then the one can reduce the other. If you're taking copper without selenium, you can be losing your selenium factor. If you're taking selenium without copper, you can be losing your copper, right? So, you know, you need all these minerals. Vitamin D activates your ability to process calcium and magnesium. And recipe. Well, I don't know those recipes. You don't know those recipes. You're already a smart enough man to look to an alternative outside of allopathic reductionist medical philosophy because,
allopathic, basically, they said, there's no cure though, and I said basically I can't see my daughter basically going down the hill every day though, so I tried my best, and that's what, to be honest, I'm quite happy with the result though, but my main concern is I need to find the right product so I can give her the right product in the right amount.
Well, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. You're right now the smartest guy in the UK because how old is your daughter, Naveed?
6 years, 4 months old.
6 years, 1 month old. Yeah, I can totally understand how. Sorry?
4 months.
Okay, yeah. I can totally understand how you as a man could not sit back and watch that happen to your daughter while, an overpaid MD sits back and tells you, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Well, there is something you can do, and you're in the right place because not only that, I don't know how things work in Europe, but the way that longevity is set up, the medical associations and FDA messed with Dr. Wallach so much that, he didn't want to put things in their hands. He didn't want to be subject to, he wanted to basically take a medical system that takes money out of your pocket and makes you sick, and he wanted to turn it into something that makes you well and puts money in back in your pocket. So I don't know what EU regulations are, or UK on, the business end of it and whatnot, but I would definitely look into that as well because, vitamin M, everybody needs it. You got mouths to feed, and I don't even know your daughter, Naveed, but she's a child and she deserves the best quality health care available. And if I believe that if you get her all these longevity products, the results that you've seen so far will be speeded up exponentially, and there's no reason from the naturopathic standpoint that this little girl can't have a normal life. So, with that in mind,
how can I get these details? I've also sent an email to one of the email link available on Find Your MD now, which is I think support at fireyourmd.com.
Right. Okay, I'm going to tell you first of all what I do know right off the bat. Have you gotten the 10 bad food list emailed back to you from Dr. Glidden's site?
No, I don't.
Okay, there is a 10 bad food list. Get your daughter off of gluten. Get her off of barley, rye, oats, oatmeal, all those things. If your daughter's going to be able to absorb and process these nutrients to aid in her recovery, she's going to have a small intestine that's working properly, and chances are she's not gonna if she's ingesting grains. From our standpoint, it's been scientifically proved by Dr. Wallach that, if you can get her off these foods, hang on a second here, wheat, barley, rye, oats, fried food, any oil in a bottle, well done meat, with the little black burn lines in it, deli meat, anything with nitrates in it, any kind of carbonated beverage while she's eating, skin of a baked potato. If you boil the potato, you can eat the skin. No peanuts, no nut butters, no extra sugar. And what you want to do is you want to get that little girl at least 20,000 ORAC points daily. Now, what ORAC stands for is a value system given to food, and what it stands for is oxygen radical absorption capacity, okay? And blueberries are high in ORAC value. Raspberries are high in ORAC value. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine products that we sell here through Longevity, you're looking at about 5,000 ORAC points a day. I'm not going to tell you specifically what to give your daughter, okay? What I'm going to do is point you in the right direction. And like I was saying earlier, if you will go to drpeterglidden.com, click on radio show, you'll be able to do a search for muscular dystrophy. and it'll bring up segments of this show where the good doctor is speaking to it directly. Also, a good idea would be go to gcnlive.com, click on listen, and scroll down to Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Now, Joel Wallach is the host of the Dead Doctors Don't Lie show, and he is the pioneer of longevity. He is the Wayne Gretzky rock star from Mars when it comes to nutritional medicine. And he will be able to give you probably more information than anybody that I know of on the planet. Dr. Glidden is also great. And like I said, Dr. Glidden is going to be putting on this webinar next month here on specifically on muscular dystrophy and how to treat it. And if you become a member, you can go on that webinar and you can type in your questions and give him all the particulars on your daughter. And like I said, he will be able to give you more than I will be able to. Does that sound fair, Naveed? I'm not going to come on here and say something that I'm not sure of. But what I am sure of is that Dr. Wallach will be able to help.
No, that's fine then. But is it not possible that someone can look into the email, the one I've already sent?
I'm not at Dr. Glidden's office. I don't open his emails. I'm actually broadcasting from Camrose, Alberta, in Western Canada. But I do happen to know that Dr. Glidden's personal assistant is listening in right now. And I'm going to put it out there to you, Ashley, to see what you can do. And Naveed, if you would send another one, please, then we can get this on a little bit faster for Naveed here. Naveed, I'm going to let you go, and we're going to switch over to Linda in California. When I hear the music, Linda, stay on the line. When you come back to the Fire Your MD Now radio show, we're going to talk to you. Be right back. Welcome back to the Fire Your MD Now radio show. We are live filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Mike Phillip. The call-in number to this show is 1-866-582-9933. 1-866-582-9933. Quick note, I got a message from Wendy. She says she has an itchy and goopy, not gross goopy, but just a little bit eye. And what I would tell you, Wendy, is I would be on the Ultimate Selenium, 1 bottle per 50 pounds body weight. Also, there's a product called Vision FX. And now if you have a minor infection, the colloidal silver at 5 parts per million, you can put that in a spray bottle and spray it right in your eye. I myself have had wonderful results with it, and so have people around me. Now, we're going to go to Linda in California. Are you there, Linda?
Hello.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing really well. It's wet and cold. I'm guessing it's a lot nicer where you are.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I know someone who is diabetic, and apparently his blood sugar spikes in the at night. He just started taking the sweeties, and during the day, I think it went down to like 180, but at night it spikes. It goes up to like 200, over 200. So what should he?
Okay. Well, if he just started, my recommendation personally would be to keep on it. And possibly he could take some more before he goes to bed, even double up on it. That's not Dr. Glidden or Wallach. That's Mike Phillip talking to you here. Another thing, like I said, how old is this individual?
I guess in his 50s.
Okay, I've heard Dr. Glidden say in the past that a lot of times it'll, for say an older person, 50 and up kind of deal, it can take them a little bit longer to respond to the supplements. When it comes to younger people and kids, he says he's seen it work within minutes in his experience. So like I said, is your friend complying with the 10 bad food list?
I'm not sure. I did send them the 10 bad food list, but I did send that list to him, but I think what he's been doing, from what I was told, that he's been taking it with meals. And I told him they're supposed to take it about 20 minutes to half an hour before each meal, but he has been taking it with meals. So I think that's one of the things that they have to change.
Okay, yeah, go with whatever Dr. Glidden or Dr. Wallach says. Have you spoken to Dr. Wallach specifically about this?
No. I spoke to, I can't remember his name, on Dr. Glidden's show. What's his name?
Dr. Glidden?
No, the other person.
Oh, the commander?
The commander, yeah, the commander.
Okay, the commander.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good man. Okay. Have you gotten access to Dr. Glidden's webinars?
I think so.
Okay, because there is a webinar on blood sugar in which he gets right in on that. And like I said before, if you go to drpeterglidden.com, you can click the radio show icon, and then it will give you a search on the right-hand side of the page. And if you put in blood sugar or diabetes, is your friend type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Type 2. Okay, you know what? That's actually might not sound like a good way of putting it, but that's good news as opposed to type 1. My mother has a friend in Saskatchewan that had type 2 diabetes, and we got her on the sweeties and a few other protocols, and her blood sugar levels normaled out quite quickly. It took some time, but what's recommended is to let the program work for you about 60 to 90 days at least. At least. Like, I've been doing this for a little over a year, and so has my wife, and we're still noticing things improve and get better even after a year. So my advice to your friend that you can pass along, stick with it. If you want some more specifics on when to take these supplements, tune into the Dead Doctors Don't Lie show with Dr. Wallach. He's the one that developed these protocols. And as far as time of day and blood sugar spiking in the evening as opposed to the daytime, I'm pretty sure that he could give you a lot better information. I hear the music. Linda, if you want to stay there, we'll talk to you a little bit more on the other side. And we will be back on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. We're back live on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. I am your fill-in guest for today, Mike Phillip. Dr. Glidden has got some other business going on. I don't know what. The call-in line is 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Big shout-out to Joey out in his hot oiler unit bombing around the province of Alberta. Big James down in Medicine Hat. Got a baby on the way. Get a hold of me and let me know if you're interested in getting that little wife of yours all mineralized up so that baby will be born bouncing, happy, and healthy. Linda, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Linda, what I'm going to tell you is have your friend keep up with the protocols. Mm-hmm. Have them stick with the 10 bad food list. And are they taking the Healthy Start Pack as well?
No, only the sweeties.
Okay, get them on the Healthy Start Pack as well. There's what's known as a healthy blood sugar pack, okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And all the healthy blood sugar pack is a Healthy Start Pack with the sweeties, and you want to get everything going on as well. Okay. I believe that with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the OsteoFX, and the EFA Plus, with the combination of the sweeties, you'll probably see a lot more results faster, but they need to follow that 10 bad food list. Sound good, Linda?
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to switch. Thank you for calling. We're going to switch over to Shirley in California. Shirley, are you there?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Shirley. I'm Mike. What can I do for you?
I'm calling about depression. I spoke with the doctor. Been over a month, and he said instead of getting on the Smart FX to try the sweeties, I've been using 444 plus all the other stuff for bone hip stuff. The OsteoFX, Tangy Tangerine, the two sets of those a day, and like it's 1 ounce and 1 ounce, and then 2 scoops and 2 scoops, and the EFAs I think 3, glucogels 5, and I'm still. Let's see, I spoke to him like 2 weeks ago and another 2 or 3 weeks before that. So he said July 4th, he said to cut out all the fruits and fruit juices plus all the 10 other things. And so he said July 4th I could start eating fruits again. I'm just wondering if it's just, if I should try the Smart FX or just try this a little longer.
My advice to you would be to go with what the doctor said. Now, if you're still experiencing difficulties, maybe I would get a hold of him again, or I would hold off on, consuming anything with extra sugar on it past July 4th. Dr. Glidden is amazing, but he's also human, and he's not omnipresent, and he can't see what's going on inside you right away. So, he's going by what has worked in the past. And from the naturopathic view, depression, bipolar, different, what's classed as mental diseases, are a blood sugar disorder. So, and like I was talking with the previous caller there, sometimes it can take a little bit longer for these things to kick in, but they do work. I'm guessing just by what you've told me from the diagnosis, you're around close to 200 pounds. Is that correct?
No, I'm only 130 pounds, but since I've got bone on bone, Dr. Wallach had me double up on the OsteoFX and the Tangy Tangerine and glucogels.
Right, and then hence the glucogels, yeah. Okay, and you've been doing this for what, a month?
Couple months, I think. I'm not sure, so I don't remember.
Okay.
I've been doing that for at least a couple months. I've had 2 orders, and I've got a 3rd one coming, so.
Okay, well, definitely give it 90 days at least. And if you go past that, like I was just saying, I've been doing this for about a year and 2 months, and I'm still seeing different things improve in myself and in my wife. Yeah, it's difficult to say, right? But you have been given a diagnosis. And I would stick with that. Are you following the 10 bad food list, Shirley?
Yeah, no, I'm just now eating some popcorn out of a bag, that you pop in the microwave. That's just got butter on it, which is okay. And is that okay, I guess? Got salt.
I think it is. I don't know if that's actually real butter. I've actually heard of workers in factories where they make that popcorn developing respiratory illnesses due to the butter or the simulated butter that they put in it. But I'm not sure if that's going to really hurt you. I think that they're working around it in an industrial capacity and breathing it in every day. So I don't think popcorn is going to hurt you at all.
I'm having the 2 eggs and butter. I haven't used butter for years because they say it's so bad for you. And so I've gotten rid of margarine, which I hardly used anyway. And it doesn't matter if the yolks are, he'd said lightly scrambled, so they're soft, but not real hard, but still cooked.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I've learned from Dr. Glidden, also, if you boil your egg, you don't want them to turn green and hard on the inside. You want them nice and soft. So, yeah, that's going to help out a lot of things. That's nature's perfect protein right there. And so tell me this, Shirley, are you feeling more energy overall? You said you slept in a couple days last week. What has been going right in the last 2 months?
Not too much. I'm smiling a little bit, but I'm still, it's really hard to pull myself out of bed. I'm just really don't want to be here. I'm trying to do some more volunteer work, so I'm getting away from the house more. And,
that's good, too, getting active and having your brain get busy with things. I don't know what is in your past or your life that could be making you sad, but I do know that being active is a big part of it.
Yeah. And so I'll keep with it and get back with him in another week or so, and after the 4th of July, and see.
Keep doing what you're doing, Shirley, and like I say, I've seen really great results in people around me in my little sphere of influence here in little old Camrose, Alberta. And just keep trucking there, girl. Your life is worth it.
Okay, well, I really believe that the natural stuff helps. Because we're just not getting what we need. So I believe in the nutrients. So they say good things for the bones. So hopefully it'll come around eventually here. So.
I believe it will, and you're a smart girl for thinking that way. We're going to let you go, Shirley. Now, a little bit earlier, we had a caller named Bob calling from Oregon. Bob, if you're still listening, he had a question about multiple sclerosis. Now, multiple sclerosis from the naturopathic view is largely due to oxidative radical damage. What you need to do, Bob, is up your ORAC value in your daily consumption. I want you to get about 100,000 points, all right? Now, there's a few products that Youngevity has. I don't know how big you are or if you're already taking them or if it's for you or what the case is, but I'm going to run it down best I can. Oxygen radical absorption capacity, okay, ORAC value is what you want. Youngevity has a few products. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine, if you're taking it properly, you're going to get about 5,000 ORAC points per day, 5,700 I think it is. There's a product called Cell Shield RTQ, and what's in Cell Shield RTQ, RTQ stands for resveratrol, turmeric, and quercetin. These are major antioxidants. You're going to get about 7,000 ORAC points a day out of those. Incidentally, resveratrol is a chemical that is produced in red wine. It's naturally occurring. And it's a funny thing, too. I was reading an article in Time magazine about a month ago, and I think it was Pfizer. I'm not sure about that, but it was one of the big pharma companies. Praise the Lord, they come up with a synthetic resveratrol. You know, and I don't know why you couldn't just have a glass of red wine, right, to get the same results. I mean, 20 million Frenchmen can't all be wrong, right? I myself can't stand red wine, but I take the Cell Shield RTQ. Now, here's the other bombshell, chocolate. Yep, that's right, chocolate. Triple treat chocolate. You're going to get huge ORAC value out of the triple treat. Not only that, it's not just chocolate, but it's got blueberries for extra ORAC value, and it also has probiotics to aid in your digestion. So, you're going to take at least one Healthy Start pack per 100 pounds body weight, and you're going to take 2 pieces of triple treat chocolate per day, 2 Cell Shield RTQ, and then you're going to eat about, well, let's say 10 to 12 eggs a day. I do this myself, and I'm in great shape. You know, eggs have gotten a bad rap over the last little while. In fact, I was just arguing with some guy on a comment board at HuffingtonPost.com. I don't know why I bother, but I do it. Scientists, MDs have just figured out that, hey, maybe eggs aren't as bad for you as people once thought. And it's funny because my best friend's mom's doctor took her off clinic grounds and told her to eat more eggs and more salt and more butter. All the things that we've been hearing this whole time. But it's funny because he had to go off clinic grounds to legally tell her to eat more eggs. And she was at the point where she couldn't even hold a cup in her hand without dropping it. Well, she upped her eggs and butter and salt, and guess what? She can hold a cup now. So there you go, Bob. Now, we're going to go over to a study in Sweden. A population-based study in Sweden shows that the massive deployment of statin drugs has provided no benefit. 3 times as many statins were being taken by Swedish people in the year 2000 and in 1998, yet the numbers of people suffering or dying from heart attacks was unchanged by the increase. I wonder who profited from that. Not only does this demonstrate that the massive push to press people into taking statins has been based on flawed science, but it also turns the claim that randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled drug trials are the gold standard upside down. The study with the unwieldy name, no connection between the level of exposition to statins in the population and the incidence and mortality of acute myocardial infarction, an ecological study based on Sweden's municipalities, was published today in Biomed Central's Journal of Negative Results. And this was put out June 14th, 2013. Now, here's the rub. The story is even worse than this study demonstrates because it doesn't address the adverse effects of statins, which can be quite severe. They include pancreatitis, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, muscle pain and wasting, hepatitis, angioedema, shortness of breath, edema, pruritus, blood in the urine. All of these can be life-threatening or indicative of the onset of life-threatening conditions. It is therefore safe to assume that statins are among those drugs that do far more harm than good. Unless you are a representative of a pharmaceutical company, in which case they're going to do you great until you finally break down too and end up having a heart attack, or, you take your own drugs because you're drinking your own Kool-Aid. Gaia Health has been telling the truth about statins, digging into the trials to point out the flaws and telling you about their risks. These organizations are out there. There's a lot of people looking into naturopathic medicine because it works. You just have to do the right things, eat the right foods. And we'll be back after this commercial break on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. We're back on the Fire Your MD Now radio show, filling in for your regular host, Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Mike Phillip, and I would like to point out some breaking news. Longevity President Bill Androli has stated that between today and July 4th, for every CEO Mega Pack that you enroll, if you're a longevity distributor, you're given double credit for a Cancun, Mexico trip. So all you need to do is enroll 6 IMDs with CEO Mega Packs, and you'll get double credit. That's your 12. That is a free trip to Cancun, Mexico. And while you're in Cancun, Mexico, you're going to run into lots of beautiful, vibrant, alive, awesome longevity people. And speaking of which, longevity cameras to my people around here, well, not my people, the people that are into longevity. We have a meeting out in Armenia on July the 7th. Please get a hold of me if you can attend. Corey Prop will not be attending that meeting. He was going to, but due to the flooding in Calgary, he had a prior commitment that was bumped up. The call-in number to the show, 866-582-9933, short segment, so we'll get you on if we can. I'm going to read a quote by a man that I really admire in history. His name is Thomas Jefferson, one of the signatories of this Declaration of Independence, one of the first presidents of the United States. Why do you care about what Thomas Jefferson thinks about things, Mike? You live in Canada. Well, you know what? Those are great men, and out of them came one of the greatest countries ever. And I'm going to read this to you. If people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines to take, statin drugs, their bodies will soon be as sorry a state as are the souls who live under tyranny. Now, have you ever seen any video from North Korea? Those people are starving. I have friends here in the town that I live in from South Korea, and when they were cut off from family members and whatnot, after the war, people were getting out and talking about the poverty and starvation that was thrust upon those people. Well, if you're going to let your government tell you what you can and can't eat and what medicines you can and can't take, well, we're in the situation that we're in today. And like I was just reading from that study in Sweden, statin drugs don't help, and in fact, they hurt you. Going the route of longevity is the best thing that you can possibly do. Get in touch with Dr. Wallach on his radio show. Get in touch with Dr. Glidden on this show. I'll be back tomorrow, but after that, I believe Dr. Glidden will be back. These guys have got some of the best advice that I've ever heard in my life and protocols for supporting and promoting the healthy structure and function of your vital organs and the systems of your body. And like I was pointing out earlier, my wife had hypertension, really like Danger Will Robinson high blood pressure, which is often called the silent killer. And, I got a hold of Dr. Glidden, and he gave us some very simple advice, and all we had to do was double up on the OsteoFX, get more calcium in her, and guess what? It was about 4 days later. The dizzy spells are gone. All right, so that's a beautiful thing. Like I said before, if you have the intelligence and the foresight to look around you and see what's happening, get your family to listen to Dr. Wallach. As a longevity distributor rep, you will have access to hours and hours and hours of webinars and radio shows and information on how to deal with over 900 different pain and chronic health issues. Now, as we discussed over the show, sometimes these things can take time. You have got to give it time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, in some cases it took 50 years of chronic mineral and vitamin deficiencies to develop some of these conditions, and chances are it's not going to happen overnight. But if you will give it the time and you will follow the discipline, you will get some great results. I'm Mike Phillip. God bless Canada. God bless the United States of America. And thank you very much for listening in. Have a great day.